Hey everybody, and welcome back to Warhammer Weekend Times. I'm Stan, your host, and today I've got another tournament battle replay for you guys, and it's actually going to be my tournament battle. I am going to be playing as the Grand Principality of Reikland, and my opponent is going to be Janka Doodle, who's playing as the Orcs and Goblins. But let's go ahead and go over the armies really quickly and then start this battle up. But Janka Doodle in his front line has a whole bunch of Throng, Hobgoblin, Despoilers of the Darklands, and then he has some Night Goblin Spears over here as well. In the back, he's got a couple units. Actually, he's got, I think, like 3 or 4 units of Harboss Black Mountain Boys, just really spread out. Used loose, loose formations on them so they can kind of spread out and be, that's basically the best way to avoid getting just picked off by artillery. He's also got a couple units of Orc Boar Biggins, and then I think he's got 3 units of these, 1 here and then 1 on each flank. And he's also got a unit of Man-Eaters on each flank, and then a unit of Oglikon Wolf Boys on each flank as well. And then in the back over here, he's got 2 units of Black Orcs, his real elite units pretty much for his army. And then way over here, he's got another unit of Hobgoblin Despoilers of the Darklands. So that is Janka Doodle's army, bringing a very large kind of horde army, lots of multiple HP units as well. My army is going to be over here, and it's got 2 units of Dismounted Reiksguard. I've also got 2 units of Dismounted Reiksguard with Halberds. This is actually a really bad mistake, or deployment mistake on my part. I really should have spread these units thinner and kind of connected them so they formed a cohesive wall instead of being able to. I mean, at this point, I can't keep them out of my formations. I don't know why I did that, but anyway, guys, I also have a unit of Knights of Aurigio. I've also got 1 unit of Hellstorm Rocket Battery, and then I got 3 units of Great Swords, 1 unit of Master Engineers with Repeater Handguns. I've also got a unit of Braganza's Besiegers, and then 2 units of High Elf Archers. I've also got 2 units of Empire Mortar, and then I think that's mostly my infantry. Then over here for my cavalry, I've got 2 units of Outriders, 2 units of Ragnar's Wolves, and then a unit of Demigryph Knights. And then my other units of Ragnar's Wolves and Outriders are over here. So, okay, guys, those are the armies. We'll go ahead and start this up and full speed it, and then just see how this battle turns out. But the first thing I am going to do is try and immediately fire into his lines. He is kind of coming up on the right flank. Just a massive horde of goblins and orcs and hobgoblins and all sorts of nasty critters. And then I'm going to be firing into his line, though, getting some pretty good kills with that volley with the Hellstorm Rocket Battery, killing about 30 of them. And then I am kind of starting to move over my Demigryph Knights to start charging onto his units when they start engaging in melee. But he's going to be charging his units up over the hill, and my Reiksguard are going to be ready to meet them. You can see kind of in the air some of the arrow units firing. I think the High Elf Archers and the Braganza's Besiegers are both firing away. I probably should have moved this Dismounted Reiksguard with Halberd up here. I don't know why I just put it kind of like slanted in my formation like that. It was really not a very smart move, but his orcs are going to look at this, guys. Imagine just being one of these halberd units and just seeing this, and it's like, yep, move forward, men. And that's what you got. Look at this. I mean, that's I don't know. I'd be crapping my metal armor, but he is going to just run into my line, and because I don't have any units here, he is going to be able to kind of pull through. I am going to charge in my dismounted, I'm sorry guys, my Demigryph Knights into his Harboss Black Mountain Boys, getting a really good charge, killing about 20 of them, and then I'm going to try and pull away as his Orc Boar Biggins move in. Over here, we can see some of his Harboss Black Mountain Boys charging into my Hellstorm Rocket Battery. He's doing a really good job at taking out my artillery crews early on. I am going to charge up my Great Swords. Hopefully their high attack values will cut through these 2 HP Harboss Black Mountain Boys pretty quick. And then over here, I do have my Master Engineers beginning to fire away. At first, they're going to start firing at the Harboss Black Mountain Boys, and then in come the Black Orcs. And they are going to kind of stop right here at first, and then just start charging through. And look at this. I'm getting swarmed in my lines. I'm getting kind of flanked. But what this is doing is just kind of creating little pockets of engagements. Over here, he's going to charge in his Orc Boar Biggins into my Dismounted Reiksguard unit. He's going to get some good kills there, but I don't think they really have a very effective charge. Although over here, his black orcs are going to be charging up, and my Master Engineers with the Peter handguns are going to be firing in. These are really good, though. If you can keep these alive, you can rout their units with prolonged gunfire. They fire so quick, but I'm only going to get another volley off right there, and then the Black Orcs are going to engage me in melee combat, and I'm going to panic. I'm going to say my Engineers are more important than my high elf archers. Going to send my archers in and try and move my Engineers out, but they're still going to get caught up in melee combat. Over here, I'm going to be charging in my Demigryph Knights into the backs of these Man-Eater Ogres, and just barely missing my own stakes that I set up with my mortars. One of my Demigryphs is actually going to get caught on those stakes, and that's kind of flip over animation they do when they get hit by the stakes. And then I'm going to try and charge out. I'm going to hit his Oglicon Wolf Boys, and then his Orc War Biggins are going to kind of engage in melee against me right there. I am going to move. Where are my Ragnar's Wolves? Yeah, I haven't used these guys quite yet. They have kind of lost some units, but over here he's going to be actually flanking me with his Harboss Black Mountain Boys, and these guys are going to get caught in this engagement. This is really not good. I don't want this happening to my High Elf Archers and what's left of my Master Engineers. I've got 11 of them. If I can get these out, they can still be pretty deadly. Even at 11, they can rout units pretty effectively, but I am going to be getting cut up by these Man-Eater Ogres and these Black Orcs. Pretty much his real elite units are going to be right in here. I'm going to get a good charge, though, with my Ragnar's Wolves, kill a few of these Harboss Black Mountain Boys, but I don't want to have them in sustained combat for too long because they don't have much in the way of defenses. They are an amazing offensive unit, but they can't stay in melee for too long. I'm going to get another nice charge, though, with my Demigryph Knights into these Hobgoblin Despoilers of the Darklands and just really doing a lot of damage to them. I'm not quite sure how many kills there, but look at that number just falling. Look at all these dead Hobgoblins just flattened by my Demigryph Knights. Over here, he's going to be moving up his Orc War Biggins and trying and charge, actually, right into my Hellstrom Rocket Battery crew. I was able to get my artillery crews kind of safe, but I didn't really know what to do with them. I didn't have any units to kind of defend them, so I kind of just sat them out here, and this kind of made them a target for some of his cav, and I'm going to use my Outriders to kind of come up and start shooting at his Orc War Biggins, hopefully. Yeah, if these guys are gonna, maybe, I don't know, they may or may not start shooting, but I'm gonna start moving my Ragnar's or Wolves up again to hopefully get another decent charge on these Man-Eater Ogres. I want to get these charges off as often as I can, because these ogres need to go down, and that's one way you can really take them down to size is with cavalry charges, with artillery and mages and stuff like that. But those, look at that, charging in, killing about 2 or 3 ogres, really good charge. If I can get my cycle charges off, I don't want to leave these guys in melee combat too long. Look at that ogre just swatted him like it was nothing. But man, that Vandaliers Gringos was just like, not today, and you know, took that swing from that ogre pretty well. But over here, I'm going to get a really nice back charge with my Demigryph Knights again. Demigryph Knights doing a lot of work this game. Pretty good amount of kills there in that Black Orc unit. Probably killed more kind of on the flanks here. You can kind of see the ones that were killed. And then I'm going to pull them out and try and move them up into this flank, although I am going to change targets not quite, you know, too soon, basically, and or not soon enough. And I'm not going to get the charge off on them, but I am going to go back another cycle charge, so I'm able to basically cycle charge through those two kind of groups of units, and this time I'm really going to lay into these Black Orcs, cutting their unit size down almost a half of what they were, and that's going to help my greatswords a lot, actually, in terms of killing power against these Black Orcs. They do have 2 HP, but the high attack of these greatswords should be good enough to cut some of them down. And then I'm going to get another charge in against these Hobgoblin Despoilers of the Darklands. And now the battle's looking a little bit different. He does still have quite a bit of Orc War Biggins, and I want to be careful about those. But then over here, it does look, I think I'm going to charge in my Outriders, actually, yeah, into the backs of these Harboss Black Mountain Boys. Any charge in the back is going to do quite a bit of damage to the morale and actual health of the unit. Then I'm going to get another charge over here on these Harboss Black Mountain Boys, and that's going to cause them to waver, and I think possibly maybe break, but no, they're going to go back to shaken, and they're going to be okay. But it does look like, oh, here, one of these units did break, actually. Oh, it was that unit. They did end up breaking, but he's going to kind of chase me away with his Orc War Biggins. I do have the advantage in the regard that my Demigryph Knights and my Outriders are both a little bit faster than these Boar Biggins, but I am going to do a really good job at just kind of pincing this Boar unit and just say, not today, Mrs. Piggy, and pretty much completely rout and kill that whole unit. with the 2 charges from my Outriders and my Demigryph Knights, and I'm going. Look at that! They're just firing in unison. That's kind of cool. Or they were. They stopped as soon as I said it. But he's going to be charging in his Man-Eater Ogres into some of my dismounted Reichsguard with halberds and just flattening a bunch of these dismounted knights. They are really powerful, though. They have a quick attack animation, these halberds do, so they are going to be well-suited to fight against these ogres if they can manage to focus on one and kind of stun lock them. I'm going to charge in my some of these Outriders into the backs of these Black Orcs and get a few amount of kills. Now, this is really not good because I didn't see this at first, but they are actually going to be kind of sitting in the stake, so I'm going to lose a few of my Outriders there. But I want to maintain them as long as I can. He does have another unit of Black Orcs over here, and I think his general is in this unit, and he does have his a few, or just this one Man-Eater Ogre over here. He does have quite a few Man-Eater Ogres over here, though, in this unit, and some Orc War Biggins, and he's going to charge in and do quite a bit of damage right there to my Demigryph Knights. And I'm going to pull them out. I did lose about 4 Demigryphs. It's not too big of a deal, so long as I don't let that happen again and again. And I do still have these Outriders over here. I think my other Outrider unit is out of ammo at this point, but you can still use them for kind of a light cav charge. There goes the Orcish general right there in one of my dismounted Reichsguard. Little cutaway scene, but I'm going to kind of sit these guys here while I kind of try and maneuver around some of my other cav. I am trying to keep my Demigryph Knights out of here, though. I did do a frontal charge, and I did lose 4 more Demigryph Knights, and I decided at this point I needed to be a lot more careful with them, that these Man-Eater Ogres are really deadly, and he does still have some Orc War Biggins, which he can really harass me with. They have, 2 HP, and they're real tanky, so I need to be careful about engaging against them, but I am going to be charging not really into them. I think as my Outriders come up, though, that's going to cause them to waver. I think they're going to kind of be afraid of the Demigryph Knights. I don't know if the Demigryphs specifically cause fear, but I do know that Orc War Biggins don't really have very good morale, and it's probably just because they're riding on boars, and boars are not really disciplined animals. But in between my cav charge and the bullets coming from my Outriders, they are going to do a good job, and I am going to kind of fake him out right there. I'll almost charge in and then pull out my units just at the last moment. His Orc War Biggins are going to be routing here, and I think he does have 1 more unit of them over here. They are very tired, though, so as soon as I get my Outriders around them with their bullets firing off, or, their handguns, that is probably going to cause them to rout if I get a good charge on them as well. I am going to be charging these units up here. They are getting tired, though, and so I do have, and so are my Demigryph Knights, but everybody at this point has been fighting for a really long time. These ogres are exhausted. That's going to cause me to be able to try and make them rout a little bit easier. When your units get tired like that, they tend to rout a bit easier, but I am going to get a rear charge on these ogres. I'm going to kill about 2 or 3, I think, not really a whole bunch, and then he's going to be charging into my Outriders over here, which are out of ammo, so I kind of just decide, yeah, I can kind of sacrifice them a little bit. I don't want to sacrifice all of them, obviously, but I can kind of hold them down while I get some more of my dismounted Reichsguard in here to act as meat shields against these Man-Eater Ogres. Because, he can kill me with these guys. I really don't have much left on the field, and if I lose my cav, I lose my kind of killing power, because my infantry, while I still do have some, it's really not adequate for killing these ogres. Oh, and I also do have a little bit of a unit of High Elf Archers. They were kind of mostly running around the map, being chased by things, but High Elves actually have a very fast movement speed, so they make a really good kiting unit. Over here, it does look like he's going to try and charge his Man-Eater Ogres into some of my Reichsguard. I am going to, I think, get some shots off with my High Elf Archers, into his Ogres. That's going to kind of stun some of them a little bit as those arrows hit them. Arrows are also a really good way of dealing with high HP units, but they are going to be wavering right here as my Outriders charge in to their flank, coming in, killing a few. They're going to change, though, from wavering to steady. I don't know what necessarily would cause them to regain morale so quickly from being at wavering, but they are, and they're going to be shaken, though, because they're so tired, and I'm going to move my Demigryph Knights up into a position and then charge them in at this last moment and kill just enough ogres to cause them to rout. And that is going to be the game, guys. That was a extremely close game, in my opinion. Definitely when Janka Doodle had started to swarm my lines and my artillery, I was panicking. He definitely had a much bigger army than me. But very good game, Janka Doodle. Very fun game anyway. I had a lot of fun in it. But let's look at the kills for my army. I got about a 197 with my Demi-Grip Knights, so they put in a lot of work. And my artillery crews really didn't do very much at all. Only 31 with my Hellstrom Rocket Battery, 20 with my Empire Mortar, and then only 1 on, with one of my other mortars. So really didn't get very much investment out of these. My Ragnar Wolf did okay. My Outriders did really well, 91 here, only 56 in this one. But then look at my some of my infantry units, 132 with these halberds, 192 with just the regular dismounted Reiksguard, and then 140 with the Knights of Oregio. So really high kill count with some of my infantry units. So that was really interesting to see. But anyway, guys, that was the battle. I am going to advance on to the next round. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. I've got about 3 or 4 more replays of the first bracket, and then I have some more replays starting to trickle in from the next bracket up. So, all right, guys, I will see you guys next time.